let's start
Now?
again from Itmar on Daled Amud Beis. Shnei Yamim Tovim Shel Rosh Hashanah. Very appropriate for the next couple of days. Rav Shmuel Damer Tavayu Nolde Bezeh Asur Bezeh. They both hold that if an egg is born, we learned that by the other Yomim Tovim, Shnei Yomim Tovim, that an egg born on one day of Yontiv is permitted on the second day Yontiv, because it's Shtei Kedushos. One is Kadosh, one is Chol. It's only because of a suffix. But Rosh Hashanah is different. Everybody holds, Rav and Shmuel, that an egg born on the
Rav, this 72 inch by 108 is it going to fit on the table?
Oh, Alan.
that an egg born on the first day of Rosh Hashanah is going to be prohibited on the second day because it's one long kedusha. This not. The lunar calendar is a month is either 29 days or 30 days. So usually on day 30, they would wait for Adam to come to say that they saw the new moon. And Besdin would declare the previous month a 29-day month. And today, the 30th day, would be Rosh Chodesh. If no Adam showed up, then by default, that day is the 30th day of the previous month. And tomorrow is Rosh Chodesh. So let's look at Rashi. Kol hayom, yom shloshim shel Elul. Like we said, on the 30th day of Elul, they would be makabel a whole day. They would wait for Adam. Umi ba'erev, already from the night before, that means the night of the 30th, at the end of the 29th, so the 30th day that they were waiting, they treated as if it was Rosh Hashanah. Hayu asurim b'melacha, shema yiskadish hachodesh l'mochar. Because if Adam show up in the morning and say, oh, last night we saw the new moon, then today is Rosh Hashanah. So misafek, they had to start keeping Rosh Hashanah the night before. So this is not the same reason why on the 15th day of Nisan, maybe today is the 15th, maybe the 16th. No, already from the get-go, this day was being treated as Yontif. V'nimsa shalayla ze Yontif. Shekein kol yom mitzapim le'edus roy elvana ulay yavo. Until Shkia Sachama of the next day of the 30th day, and that would be it. That'd be Rosh Hashanah, and the next day is the next day. It's not Rosh Hashanah. However, in this Kal Kalu Halavim Bashir, so the Leviim sing Shira both in the morning when they offer the Tamid Shel Boiker, and they sing a Shira in the afternoon when they offer the Tamid Shel Ben Arbaim. Sha'amru bo Shira Shel Chol. So they, in the afternoon, the Adam had still not come. So they sang Shira of Chol. Shahayu Svorim Shelo Yavo Od. It was late in the day, and they didn't think that the Adam were going to come anymore. Oh, all of a sudden, an hour after they offered the Tamid Shel Ben Arbaim and they sang the Shir of Chol, Shabo, well, Nimsa Shu Kodesh. All of a sudden, no, it's really Rosh Hashanah. Now, Uveshal Shachar Ein Tos, the Shir that is sung in the morning is not a mistake. The Mitamid Shel Shachar Filu Hukdesh Shachodesh Kodem. For example, when Yontif falls on a Monday or a Tuesday or Wednesday, we say the Shir Shal Yom of Monday or Tuesday or Wednesday. So the Shir Shal Yom that they said for that day in the morning would not be a problem. The Edim aren't rushing to get there. So it was the fact that they made a mistake and they sang the wrong Shir in the Mincha time. Because of this mistake, At that time, iskinu shlo yumakabim sa'edim ela ada mincha. They changed the rules, and they said, you know what? We're not going to be makabel edim if they come by mincha time, great.
Did they change the rules just for Chodesh Tishrei? Or was it every Chodesh?
It's only a problem for Rosh Hashanah, because that's the only Rosh Chodesh which is a yontif. By the 15th day of the month, they know what it is.
So you don't think it was like a low plug for every Chodesh?
No, I think it had to do with Rosh Hashanah only. Arak Rav is Tovich Ben Arbai. Aval la'achar mikan, also ayom, harei hu mu'uber. What they would do is, if the Edom didn't show up by Mincha, okay, that's it. This is now the 30th day of Elul, and tomorrow is Rosh Hashanah. Umonin miyom ha'machras liyom ha'kippurim v'sukkos. So now, when they have to count what day is the 10th day of Tishrei, tomorrow is going to be the first day of Tishrei, so we know when Yom Kippur and Sukkot is going to be. What if in Bo Edim in Mincha Lamala, Afal Pi She'ein Moinin Lamoya Dois Me'ayom? So let's say the Edim showed up after Mincha, and they have already declared today is not Rosh Hashanah, tomorrow is Rosh Hashanah. Lo Mezalzlin Be Bahai Shloishim, Ela Goimrin Oso Bi Isuro. Remember, we said they started the night Isra Malacha. That morning was Isra Malacha. And now, even though they've pushed it till tomorrow, that Rosh Hashanah is going to be counted Echad B'Tishrei, so we can know when Yom Kippur is, they maintain the Isra Malacha that day. Kasher Huzrada Mincha Malacha, Keinoagin, the government also B'Kedusha Soso. Alma, Tchila Asiya Shnei Yomim L'Rosh Hashanah Filu B'Beis Din Hava, V'lo Misofek. That's the point I wanted to emphasize. Rashi is beautiful here. This 2 days Yontif Rosh Hashanah is completely different. It's nothing to do with Safek. Bezdin Lechatchila made the fact that today is Osir because of what we just explained. Sharei Vadai Sheyontif L'Mochar. We know for sure that they established the Yontif to the next day. Afa Pichein Tiknu Lasoisoi. They said that today we're going to hold his Yontif. Shmamina. Chok Chachamim u'mitzvos n'hayel asoson l'ba'u edom achra mincha. It was a Bezdin decision that even if the Edim show up that 30th day after Mincha, and technically today should have been Rosh Hashanah, they moved it to tomorrow, but they kept that day be'isr. V'arachokim yeshalem la'sosim chol shana. And therefore, people who lived far away, who didn't know what was going on, they should do this the same every year, 2 days of Rosh Hashanah. Shema yavo Edim achra mincha, because they don't know. Maybe the Edim will show up after Mincha, v'arei kedusha so achas. It ends up being one kedusha. Ve'ein kan loimer mimonav shach chad minayu chol. The Shema ein kan chol, ela shneim kodesh. It's not like safek the yoima that today is the 15th or tomorrow is the 15th. No, it's both days are kodesh. And this sugya now explains to us why Rosh Hashanah is considered yoima arichta, one kedushin. By other yomim tovim, it's not. Back to the Gemara. So Bo Edim in Mincha Lamala noagin oisa yom kodesh l'machar kodesh. Amar Rabba. However, later on, Amar Rabba mitakonas Rav Yochanan ben Zakkai. After the Beis Hamikdash was destroyed, Rav Yochanan ben Zakkai made many takonas, and he went it back to the way it used to be. And therefore, Beitzah Muteres. Therefore, after the Takana of Rav Yochanan, an egg born on the first day of Rosh Hashanah could be eaten on the second day of Rosh Hashanah. What's this? This not. Mishachar Beis Hamikdash Hiskim Rav Yochanan Zakkai Shemakabel Eitz Chodesh Kol Hayom. They went back. There is no korbanos anymore. So, but they still were doing. They were still Mekadesh HaChodesh Al Pi Ariyah. Bezdin was still doing that. So, because there's no problem with Shir anymore, they decided that Rashi says, Ula Kadeshem, and therefore they would make Rosh Hashanah one day, even if they came late. That's it. They would start Isra Malach the night before, and if they showed up late, doesn't make a difference. Therefore, Nimsa Shein Bezin Osin Shnei Yomim. After the come from Yochanan and Zakkai, after the destruction of the temple, there were no 2 days anymore. People in Bavel who did 2 days, that was back to Suffolk. Like, we're not sure. Is today the first day or the second day? So now again, we're back to the way it is by regular Yomim Tovim, that it's either Chol or Kodesh. One of them is certainly a weekday. So they went back to that an egg born on that day would be muter at the other day. Well, how could this be? You just quoted the halacha that both Rav and Shmuel agree that the 2 days of Rosh Hashanah, if it's born on the first day, it's also the next day. Understand. I just showed you a kasha. Rav Yochanan ben Zakkai lived 300 years before Rav and Shmuel. He was a Tana. They're Amay Roim. What are you asking me about kasha and Rav from Rav and Shmuel? So Rav Shmuel kasha masnisen. So what did Rav and Shmuel do with the Mishnah? Loi kasha halan v'halahu. So let's see Rashi. Livnei Eretz Yisrael sho'isim yoyim echad. So it was at that time that in Eretz Yisrael they did 1 day Rosh Hashanah. And therefore, it's certainly muteris the next day. Aval l'didon b'nei goyla. But for those of us who live in Bavel, asura. Sharei adayin anu osin shnei yomim. We live far away. We do the 2 days of Rosh Hashanah based on the original fact that Beis Din was Misake and Isra Malacha right away. The Odenu Kivit Chila. Then they also Takana Rishon, the Takana before Rav Yochanan ben Zakkai. Lo mitnei sofek. Hilkach. Hoyel v'loy posku me'etzleinu mishitchalnu. We never stopped. Ein lahakil v'loy mar ein min agenu zeh. B'nei Takana Rishon el mitnei sofek. Ubeitzu muteres. Halon. We don't say the beitzu is muteres. The Kevin lo poska also Takana. We never stopped. We always did it one time. Adain b'Yisrael Rishon Amadnu the Osam Ki Amarach that's considered Yom Arichta. By the way, the Rambam says that in Eretz Yisrael, technically, they would hold 1 day in Eretz Yisrael, but that has changed from the time of the Gaonim. And even Eretz Yisrael only has 1 day. It has 2 days Rosh Hashanah. Kivan Shabbat Noagim Lefi Cheshbon Ha'ibor. They used to keep 1 day Rosh Hashanah until the Chachmei Provence came around and changed the halacha. So it's a later change in Eretz Yisrael. But technically there was a different approach in Eretz Yisrael as there was in Bavel. Now, Rav Yosef Amar Af mitakonas Rav Yochanan ben Zakkai ve'elech Beitzah Asura. Rav Yosef says even after the takon of Rav Yochanan ben Zakkai, an egg born on the first day of Rosh Hashanah would be also the second day. My time, huh? Havi davar shebeminyan. This was something that was voted on by Sanhedrin. It's a davar shebeminyan. V'chol davar shebeminyan tzarich minyan acher latiro. This change was not enough for just Rav Yochanan ben Zakkai to make a takana. It required a vote from Sanhedrin. They never voted, and therefore it remains the din that a beitzah that's nolda on 1 day is also the next day. Now, Amar Rav Yosef ben Amin Allah, how do I know that it has to need a vote? The chsiv lechem or lahem shuvu lachem lo lechem. That when they received the Torah, they were told that they can't live with their wives. Now, then when it was all over, it didn't just revert. They needed another din to tell them, now you can go back. So you see, there was like a vote taken, and a new halacha had to be told that they can go back to their wives. Now, the Gemara gives us another pasuk, which the Gemara is going to ask on, why do I need another pasuk? V'oimer b'imshocha yovel hema yaluv v'har, which is the other pasuk there. So, The Tanya, here's Rav Yosef continuing the proof. By the way, tomorrow I would like to learn in the morning after Slichas. I'm going to Slichas at 7 in the morning, should be done by 8:30. I'd like to learn at 9 o'clock. I don't know, what is Young Israel Hancock Park doing?
There is a meeting at 7 also tomorrow.
Yeah, and we should be done by 9:10.
Ernie, it's too early 9 o'clock.
Okay,
You know,
let's
the
go-
night-
Yeah, because actually davening is going to be 45 minutes because it's
Yeah,
Monday.
davening is also, it's Thursday. I mean,
Okay.
it's Monday.
so let's learn at 9:30 a.m. by Zoom,
Yeah,
okay? 9:30 a.m. when we all get home from Slichas, we'll learn tomorrow's blood.
Yeah, and people want to do our Taurus and Adorim also after davening.
Yeah, it's a long davening in Hatoras.
It's not going to take you 2.5 hours, trust me.
Okay, I'm just saying.
As long as you daven for the Amud, it won't take it.
No, it's not, we should be home by 9:30. And if we see that there are people missing, I'll wait until everyone gets home.
Where people go to pay. All right. Can we make it at 10 o'clock just to
10
clear
o'clock
it?
is fine too. Is that okay with everybody?
Is that okay?
yeah.
Okay, 10 a.m., no problem. 10 a.m. tomorrow when we get home. And I will be teaching Daf Yomi at Shul Tuesday and Wednesday. And I will do the 2 blot Wednesday night at 8:30 for the taping. And for those who are not coming to Shul.
Yeah, just remember the rabbis speaking in between Mincha Maariv. So let's learn right before Mincha.
They listed the times in the Kolenu,
Sure, I have it. Hold on.
6 o'clock.
I'll tell you right now. Mincha, day 1. Mincha is at 6:50.
So 6 o'clock is perfect.
50 minutes?
Yeah.
Okay,
You want to learn at 6:15?
it's up to you. Whatever you think
I mean,
we need.
I think
Ernie,
6 o'clock is fine. Yes?
yeah, no, because basically maybe you're going to learn on Wednesday night. I mean, Wednesday night is a Friday, So,
Tuesday and Wednesday night. Well, I'm going to be teaching at Young Israel Tuesday.
I
And
understand, but I mean, in case I want to get back to Mincha by Yavne, you understand? So okay, it's fine. It's
You
fine.
can stay by us,
Okay,
Walter,
yeah.
one day.
By the way, if we
I'll
learn-
keep you a seat.
Walter, if we learn at 6 o'clock, I'll probably be done by 6:40. So we'll be able to go to Mincha. If we want to go to Mincha to Yavne, you can go to Mincha. You'll be there in time.
Okay.
So I think that's a good, so let's keep it at 6 o'clock. And then we'll make tapes on it Wednesday night at 8:30. If anyone, like for Gnawer or whoever's not in shul, we'll have, I'll teach both blot Wednesday night for the taping.
Great.
That's the schedule. And tomorrow at 10.
Okay, great. Okay, fine.
Okay. Back to the Gemara. Vitanya, Karen Ravai Haya Oile Yerushalayim, Mahalach Yomecha V'chol Tzad. So the first 3 years of a fruit tree, the fruit is called orla. You're not allowed to eat it, not allowed to have hana from it. In the 4th year, the fruit is considered kerem ravai if it's from a grape, or neta ravai if it's regular fruit. Those fruits have to be taken up to Yerushalayim like Meiser Sheni. It's not Meiser Sheni, it's a different din. It's called neta ravai or kerem ravai. You have to eat it in Yerushalayim. Now, if it's too much, it's too hard to the road to take, you can be pointed it for 20%, same like Meiser Sheni. And then take the food, take the money to Yerushalayim and buy fruit there. However, fruit that was 1 day travel from Yerushalayim in a circle, you were not allowed to be pointed. You had to actually bring them to Yerushalayim physically. Why? We're going to see, because they wanted the markets of Yerushalayim to have fruit. V'zui tchuma, Eles min hatzafon, Eles is north, Akravat min hadarom, south, Lod min hamayriv, V'yardei min hamizrach. V'omer ula v'temer Rav Archanan Rav Yochanan. Matam. Why in this area you have to physically bring the fruit? K'dei la'ater shukei Yerushalayim b'peirutz. In order, we know so many people are coming up to Yerushalayim. We want the markets to have plenty of fruit. If everyone can redeem it for money, there won't be any fruits in Yerushalayim. Netanya, Kerem Ravai Hailel Rabbi Eliezer b'Mizrach Lloyd b'Tzad Kfar Tovi. Rabbi Eliezer had Kerem Ravai east of Lod in Kfar Tevi. This is considered part of the Tchum of Yerushalayim. It was hard for him to schlep these fruits. Ubikesh lav kirulani. So his solution would be the mafkarit to poor people. They would be matriach to schlep it up and to eat it there. Amrlo Talmid of Rebbe, Kvar nimnu alecha chavercha v'tiru. There was already a vote in Sanhedrin, and that you're allowed to redeem it. After the Churban, there was no purpose for the takon anymore. Now you can go back to the original din. The man chavercha. Now, who is chavercha? Rav Yochanan ben Zakkai. And Taima dinimnu. The only reason they changed, because they voted. Halo nimnu lo. So from this Gemara, Rav Yosef proves that you can't just change a din in Bezdin. They had to vote on it. Now, he brought psukim. Why did you need the other psukim of Bimshoch Hayovel, Hema Yelubar, Maiva Oimer, Hachi Kamer? So this is how he understood. Michti, Ksiv Eyunecholim Shastem Atuk Shalisha. You have to prepare 3 days, Shloshim Yagbala for Matan Torah. You're not allowed to have relations with your wife. Then, after Matan Torah, Lechem or Lahem Shuv Lachem Lechem. Now they were told they can go back. Why did I need that? Lamali. After 3 days, the Isser should have just gone away. They were told, "Hey, yunechonim l'shloshes yomim." So after shloshes yomim, why do they need another missive to tell them they can go back to their wives? Because the Torah had to tell it, because this is an example of a Sanhedrin voting. You have to be given a new halach. Now, maybe this was just a special mitzvah, a new mitzvah, that you're supposed to provide mitzvahs ona to your wife to get. It has nothing to do with the regular din of living with your wife. So Toshma b'mshoch hayovel hema yalu bahar. It said they can go up to the mountain because gamatzon v'abakru al yirum ularahu. They had prevented the animals from grazing on the mountain. That issue would only be when Kvod Hashem was there. Afterwards, it would be mutter. So again, they had to be told specifically, now you can go up to the mountain. Because b'mshoch hayovel lamali would just sort of gone away after the 3 days. Maybe you'll tell me this concept is only by mitzvahs d'oraisa, but aval b'drabanan law, we don't need Sanhedrin. And this din of Beitzah shenoldu b'tzal muktzah, it's all midrabanan. Maybe I don't need a vote. Toshma kerem ravai. The kerem ravai d'rabanan. This din of kerem ravai that you have to be poideh and to take it up is and only that a 1 day travel to Shalim, that's all min rabbanon. The ka'amri law kvarnimnu alecha chaver v'tiru, and it was voted. So we see even rabbinic law has to vote. Maybe when we were told that after Rav Yochanan ben Zakkai again permitted an egg born on 1 day to be eaten the next day, maybe because there was a vote taken. So the Gemara says, no, ki imnu are edus. They voted regarding the issue, are we makabel edus after mincha or not? But a beitzah loy imnu. Beitzah is just a din that flows from that, whether it's as kedusha achas or shtei kedushos. But they did not take a specific vote regarding the beitzahs. Yeah, but the whole ikr isser by beitzah was not ever voted on. Beitzah be'edus tayu milsa. It's whether if you're makabel a whole day, it leads to either Yoma Arichta or not Yoma Arichta. Itzer Edis, Itzer Beitzah, Ishtri Edis, Ishtri Beitzah. It wasn't really voted on. It's all tied together. So Rav Shaman Tarvabi Beikluchis Amri, even after Rav Yochanan ben Zakkai's takana, the egg is also if it's born on one day. My timer, for different reasons. Mary Yibana Beis Hamikdash. We don't know. Tomorrow Mashiach will come. The Yomer Ishtaket Milachanu Beitzah B'Yontav Sheni. If we permit to be eaten the next day, we'll say last year we ate a Beitzah that was nolda the first day. So Ashtanami Nechel. So this year we can do the same, even after Mashiach. But V'loyadi Dishtakat Shtei Kedusha same. Then it has to do with Sveika Diyoma, V'hashta Kedusha Zachasi, because we're back to the original Takon of Bezdin. So maybe we should not be Makabel Edus until after Mincha. My timer, Meir Yibana Beis Hamikdash. Mashiach will come tomorrow. The Yom Rishtaki Milo Kibanu Edus Acholish Kol Yom Kulo. Last year we accepted Edus the whole day. Hashanami Nakabel. So the Gemara says, that's no comparison. Hasam Edus Mr. Lebezdin. Edus is something that Bezdin takes care of. They're not going to make a mistake. Beitzah is every householder deals with that. So there could be a mistake. And Rav Omer also, even after the Takon of Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai, an egg born one day Rosh Hashanah would be also the next day. That if Eidim did show up after Mincha Shnagim, also Yom Kodesh L'Machar Kodesh, that both days would be treated Kodesh, and it would be Yom Ha'arichta. The Omer Rava Ilchos HaKavod the Rabbani Tlas Bein L'Kula Bein L'Kula. Rava says we paskin like Rav that an egg born the first day of Rosh Hashanah is also the second day of Rosh Hashanah because it's Yom Ha'arichta. Okay, so now we're going